This is to certify that movie
Twats.
has been classified for live streaming.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me for another week of movie chats. Before you ask, I don't know where he is either. I'm sure he forgets that we go live on a Thursday. I'd just like to take this time to say thank you to everybody for the messages and the thoughts and stuff like that last week. It meant a lot to me. Especially with what was going on and losing me nan at the weekend. So thank you very much for that, guys. Like I say, it did mean a lot to me. So cheers for that. Shall we give him a call and see where he is? Oh, speak of the little devil. Here he is.
Look at you in a vest, showing off a good show.
This is the I'm too hot and I can't be bothered changing my t-shirt.
I'm not going getting the one you got me on. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, come on, go and put that on. That's ace. That's the best present that you've ever had, and you don't wear it.
Hey, everybody. It would have been if it had been a size medium or a large, not a small.
It was a medium. I'm sure it was a medium.
From China.
So, yeah, thank you guys for, like I say, for the thoughts and messages. It meant a lot last week, especially with everything that was going on. So, yeah. Steve, thank you for covering it such short notice on Thursday. It was sort of like shit.
You had things to do. It's fine, honestly. We had a good chat, to be fair. Bless him. Nice lad.
Yeah. I was conscious that the fact that you two have never spoke either, so it was like
yeah. Cheers for that, yeah. We could have had a Teams call before or something.
Send the link out and just see what happens. Go.
There was no link. The show hadn't been created, and I didn't know where to get hold of the guy. I had about half an hour to do it.
Well, you see, that's what it takes, you see, to get you to do something for the channel.
Yeah, all right. I don't fancy that every other week, mate. You're all right.
Oh, God.
At this rate, you're missing more shows than Chris usually does with his.
No, I know. It's ace, isn't it?
Hey, everybody. So how's your week been, mate?
Up and down.
How's it?
Busy.
You managed to get more sleep?
I managed to catch up on my sleep. I think it was Saturday, Sunday. I just managed to pass out at like 6 in the afternoon and just didn't get up until the next day.
Well, that's Well, the Sunday. No, because Sunday we did the Bounty Bunch. So I got a message off Lana about 6 o'clock saying Steve's passed out. He might not be on the stream tonight. So I messaged the lads, and then lo and behold, there he is.
I was on there before you. Yeah,
Mr. Power Nap.
So yeah, I've managed to catch up on my sleep and stuff like that. It's a little bit hit and miss at the moment, but I think that's just because of everything that's been going on with work and stuff like that as well. It's just a busy time at the moment.
I mean, to be fair, you needed a bit of a break anyway, really.
So,
did you get up to much at weekend?
What did we do? Saturday, we went to that Witness Comic Con.
Oh yeah.
Went to that Witness Comic Con. Then we went to Warrington, and then we dropped off into Runcorn. So we went to 3 different CEXs on Saturday.
Bloody hell!
And not one of them was Ellesmere Port because they're a bunch of wankers.
Yeah.
So yeah, Saturday was quite busy. Sunday was a bit more relaxed. We just chilled and didn't really do much. on Sunday.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What about you? What did you get up to?
I was working over the weekend. I think yes, I was. I was working over the weekend. I sat from Saturday actually. I booked Saturday off and went to a little zoo in Lincoln. Took a little lad because her mum was down with one of the foster kids. So Lou was like, "Do you want to go?" And I thought, well, if I don't go, then it's Lou's trying to look after Leo in a zoo on her own. So
Well, I was going to say, were you taking Lou to see a family? But then you said that the
no,
mum
her mum was already down. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, she was like a kid in a candy store. She's running off taking photos and selfies, and I'm there trying to keep hold of Leo. So yeah, it was fun. I'm trying to think what the place was called now. I think it was called Woodside or something. Nice little zoo. It's called Woodside. So yeah, I enjoyed it. There was a tiger in there that was doing whatever it wanted to do. You know, it's like all these different viewing areas, and it decided to sit furthest away from everywhere with its arse to you, so you couldn't see a thing. You know. But it was a nice day, and then we got back just before the heavens opened. And then I was in work Sunday onwards. So the last couple of days I've just been doing stuff in the house, putting some shelves up and stuff. So making the place look nice. Started the garden again. Now the weather's back.
So I suppose the question on everyone's lips is, have I done Parasite? And the answer is no. I have not managed to find an English translation of Parasite.
You can't. That's the point. The point.
No, I haven't managed to find it. I got halfway through watching the one with the subtitles, but
Yeah.
I've just not been concentrating to watch subtitles. Steve, would you like to give me the breakdown of Parasite? And I apologise to Lee that I haven't done the homework, mate. I'm really sorry.
To be honest with you, it's one of those movies where, you know, the less you know about it, the better, really. But I would say that it's a picture about, you've got the rich people and you've got the poor people, and the way that it's been filmed, it's like in the rich area, everything's colourful, bright, lovely weather, all that sort of thing, and then further down in the town, which is, when I say down, I mean literally down steps. It's like a hill. Like the further down you go, the darker, the grim, dirty, living in sort of what is essentially a cellar. That sort of setup where everything's just grey, you know, poverty sort of thing. And there's a young lad who his mate is going away travelling. His mate was a bit of a rich lad, and he was tutoring this kid on English, I think it was, and he asks him, look, you're better speaking English than most people that I know. Would you want to go and cover me while I'm away traveling? So he does that, and then eventually he manages to get jobs for most of his family. Mm-hmm. So most of his family become either a cook, a house maid, a driver, and his daughter is teaching one of the other kids something else. I think it's art, and it's how that story unfolds then, which is really, really interesting. But I same with situation with you. When I was speaking to Lee about it, I was under the impression that there was a English dubbed version, and the research that I did about it said that there was one guy on YouTube that ended up doing about 9 hours worth of interpretation because he wanted his sister to watch it and enjoy it. But other than that, I mean, I got the black and white. I got the 4K black and white version that's got the black and white and the color on it, and there isn't a translation in English in sight.
Right.
So
okay.
it's the only one. I don't think there is an official release of it dubbed in English at all, other than this guy.
I think I must have spent more time than the film's actually on for trying to find an English translation of the film that doesn't exist.
Basically, yeah, from what I can gather. I mean, the thing is that if I would say that if there was one available, it would have been on that 4K release. I can't, because it's got the 4K and it's got the Blu-ray, so I can't see it not being on there. But no, but it is an amazing movie, and the way that it's shot is so clever. I'm not sure. I haven't watched the black and white version yet, but I'm not sure how that's going to really go down because it is a complete contrast of those that have and those that haven't. You know, so the way that they've done it though is really good. But it's the first ever film I've ever watched in subtitles all the way through, and it was at a pace that I didn't have to work. Because the problem with me is that because my autism and dyslexia, I'm reading it and I'm not watching it. Does that make sense? So I'm reading it, and by the time I've read it, I've missed a scene. But that was at a decent pace, so I could keep up with it. I was going to... But hey guys, sorry we've been ignoring you. Hope everybody's well. But it's definitely worth a watch. I mean, if you've only got halfway through, then there's a lot of twists and turns to go. So I would recommend you sitting down and watching it.
Yeah, I will when I've got a bit more brain capacity to, like you say, I struggle. Not that I'm dyslexic or anything. I just struggle with the reading the subtitles and actually seeing the visuals.
Yeah, that's what I had. Yeah,
and you know, I just struggle with it, and I just lose interest quite quickly. I'm spending more time reading than I am watching.
I think I'm definitely going to watch it again because that way I know what it's already been said, so I can concentrate on what's going on the screen.
Yeah.
But it's a fascinating movie. It really is, and I think like I say, it's a good one to start off with if you're getting into subtitled stuff. But it's at a pace that I can keep up with it really.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd recommend it to anybody who's got the capacity to do that.
Yeah. So it's up to you if you want to set yourself a homework movie, Steve. I just don't have the time at the moment to dedicate to a
no, it's fine, mate. I mean, we can skip it for a few weeks. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
we've got a busy weekend coming up anyway.
Okay. So it does sound a really good film, and yeah, I just can't wait to actually look at it and watch it properly. Let's do something that we haven't done for a while on this channel. Pickups of the week. Now,
okay.
As you say, I've been out on Saturday. Thank you for Mike and Mel. Thank you to Lana for taking my mind off things on Saturday and whatever.
Did you let you spend? Did you let you go spend?
I was on a spending spree. I was like, wow. So as you know, I picked up the Masterpiece Optimus Prime from Starbase 55. I put the video out for that the other day.
Yeah.
I've been holding these back for tonight's show, so I haven't done a video on these.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now, the Masterpiece Prime was brilliant. I traded in a load of me Star Trek Eagle Moss stuff, and he gave me a good price for them, and it was enough to do a straight swap for the for the Prime, and I love the Prime. He's looking at me now, like I say, get me on camera, and I'm not because I'll just destroy the rest of the display.
Get me on camera.
Yeah. However, I did pick up because there's a model shop in Warrington. Are these all Warrington? No, they're not. So this was in Warrington. So this is Buck Roger. Actually, let me put myself on big screen. See, I haven't done a live for so long. I forgot how to do this. There we go. So I picked up Buck Rogers season 1. All
right, yeah, very nice.
DVD. Now, as you know, there is 2 seasons to Buck Rogers. In the second season, they took the budget away from it. They changed some of the fundamentals of the characters, etc.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a great series. So I got season 1. Now this was £8. Okay, now there's a great little model shop in the Golden Gates shopping centre in Warrington. So if you live in the area, go and check it out. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but they've got some great models. Go and have a look at, and they had this in there, so I picked this up for £8. I was CEX in Widnes. The next couple are in Widnes, so I picked up the original Battlestar Galactica series.
Yes.
In CEX in Widnes. Now this is £10.
Yeah.
Then went to CEX in Runcorn and saw it for £8, and I'm like, why is it £8? And then I realised this has come in a plastic case, where the others were in, the fold ups, and then the sleeves. So this is the plastic case. So I've got the better one. So this is £10. I can't wait to delve into this because, as you know, I watched the 2004 remake not so long ago, the whole complete series. So it'll be good to delve back into the original Battlestar Galactica. And then I got these from cash converters.
Oh, don't start with that. I knew this is why you were bringing it up. They're well cool.
They are cool. Now, these cost me £10 for the series.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so it cost me £10 for the complete.
The thing is, if it's cash generator, then you are not getting those stickers off.
No,
without removing half of the DVDs inside it.
Cash converters.
Cash converters,
Cash converters in Widnes. It was quite funny because do you know what everyone says when you know that you've got a reseller in the midst.
Yeah.
There was a bloke that was following us around the charity shops, and everything I picked up, he picked up.
Yeah.
And then he sort of knew what I was going to, so he jumped ahead in the shop. And I was talking to the bloke behind the counter about something else, and Mike went to me, Steve, you've got X-Men. And as I walked over, he picked up all 3 boxes of this X-Men. Right. And he was like trying to have a look at them and stuff like that. And I just wasn't paying attention. I just thought, yeah, look, there's the original series of Superman over there as well on DVD and whatever. I was like, great, I'll get that. And then as I said that, he put the X-Men down and picked up the Superman, because I knew I didn't want the Superman, and I just picked up the 3 X-Men boxes from underneath, and we just took them to the till. Like, oh, fuck it, that'll teach you. Yeah. So I picked them up for a tenner. I had to then check all the discs. The discs are immaculate. There's a couple that I've got like little hairline scratches.
Yeah.
But not that it's going to bother me watching them. But
you see, that's the difference is that when you look at those sort of discs, I was saying this a while back, but like the ones from our generation, they tend to be from people that have collected them. So I'm going to find, like with other kids stuff, you pick it up and it's like, yeah, this is going to be scratched to hell. But because it's something that isn't for the sort of modern generation, really, they're usually in good condition because they've been looked after.
Yeah.
He's got rid of them in there because they needed the money.
Yeah. So I was made up to pick these up. Like I said to Mike, I don't know why Mike didn't pick these up, because he loves X-Men. He's going through the phase now of picking up the Diamond Selects, the big statues.
Yeah.
Because I've mentioned it, he wants to do it, and just a trendsetter.
Clearly, yeah.
A trendsetter. But like I said, I haven't picked up any statues or anything like that. I'm going to concentrate on the gaming statues, like the Halo ones and stuff like that. Get them. When I was at Widnes Comic Con, I didn't share these. Now, these were 4 for £10. And I know what they are. Someone's just printed out off the 8-bit pictures from computer games, from like the Mega Drive title screens or something like that. So there's a RoboCop.
Cool.
And a Superman.
That's cool. I like that.
And I did pick up one for you and Chris as well, which you can have at the weekend when I see you.
Thank you, buddy.
So I've picked up ones that I know that you guys will like, but these are quite cool. I do like these, and like I said, I know he's printed these off at home and stuck them on brown cards. But if you're interested, there's the details.
You're not going to see that.
Yeah, there's the details. I'll drop them in the Movie Chats and Film Geeks Facebook page. Go and have a look at what he does. But like I say, I know these are cool. He had thousands of them, and they're all in alphabetical order. And they're four for a tenner, and I could probably have picked up 100 of them.
Really?
I had no idea where I was going to put them, so I just picked up the ones that I like, the better ones that I like. So yeah, I got you and Chris one as well.
Thank you, bud.
Right, over to you.
Oh, right, okay. Not many bits really, to be honest with you, this week. I went through some last week. I did pick up Shazam, the new one, which is in here for some reason. It might be downstairs. Because that's gone down to a tenner in Asda, so I picked that one up. That's one I needed, so I picked that up the other week. I'm not sure if I'd shown that. But then I did pick up Black Sails. So I've never seen this series, but apparently it's really good. It's complete 1 to 4 season. So that went down a little bit in CX, so I picked that up. I went into one of the charity shops. There it is. So that's just purely for the collection. I'm not expecting it to be any good, to be honest. But I'd picked up when I picked up a load of DVDs the other week. I'll come back to that one anyway. But yeah, so I went into the charity shop and they had Fear the Walking Dead season 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. So I got them for £1 each. And then when I got home, a bag of DVDs I'd picked up last week.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Steve. But what's the not Fear of the Walking Dead? What's the other one? Walking Dead, is it World's End or something?
Is this the new spin-off?
I don't know. There's 2 series of The Walking Dead that I didn't recognise in CEX.
Okay, well, I don't know. I don't think that's out just yet. I mean, that's literally a spin-off that's just either starting or just about to start.
Well, they had several copies of seasons 1 and 2.
What was it then? I don't know. I honestly don't know at this point. Fuck, I'm to that. But yeah, it was just coincidental that I'd actually bought that a few days before, which was the 3rd season. It is in DVD, so I've got 1 to 3 now. Are you trying to figure out what it was?
World Beyond.
World Beyond.
I don't know what that is. Apparently, just 3 seasons of it.
I did pick up another copy of this. I don't know if you want it because I weren't leaving it for £1. But the Butterfly Effect trilogy.
Oh yeah, go on. I love the first one. The second one's all right. The third one's awful.
I mean, it's not a massive amount to trade in, but like I say, I've already got this anyway. So I thought, well, I'll pick it up, and then if you wanted it, I'd bring it down.
Bring it at the weekend.
I picked up. This was 50p. I think this is. I think I remember this. Walk on the Wild Side BBC series.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Jason Manford, Rod Gilbert. I think it's the Voices one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. Anyway, that was 50p. I picked this up for a couple of quid after me having a conversation the other day with that lad on our channel. It was £2 for a Alfred Hitchcock box set.
Yeah.
So I weren't leaving that in there. There is one disc missing I found, which is Vertigo, so I'm just going to replace that anyway.
Can you buy that disc only on eBay or somewhere?
What's that?
Can you buy it disc only on eBay or something?
It's just I probably got a copy of it, to be honest with you, up in the loft, so I'm gonna have a look. But everything else is fine in that. What else was there? I did pick up. This was a couple of quid as well, just because it's Miss Marple. So obviously I've got Murder She Wrote, Poirot, and a few more up there. But this was just for a couple of quid. I was picking that up, but it's pretty cool. It's like a book design,
yeah,
with all the discs in. There was something else I picked up. What was it? Oh, I've never heard of this before, but this intrigued me, which is the Secret Policeman's Ball.
Oh, okay.
This has got a unique collection of live comedy and music from Amnesty International. It's got Peter Cook on it, John Cleese, Michael Palin, Dudley Moore, Sting, Rowan Atkinson, Eric Clapton, and many more. So I've never seen that anywhere. So I think that cost me a couple of quid as well, £2. So I picked that box set up. That's pretty much it, really. There was a few odds and sods bits I picked up. A box set of extras. I've got the extras, but I don't have it as a box set, so I picked up that. and this one, which is the Stone Sauces, is it? Scorsese.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 50p, so I picked that one up. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it this week. There's not been a lot, to be fair.
No.
Yeah,
Picked up some good stuff.
yeah,
Like I
it's
said,
all right.
I was just running around on Saturday and I was just picking everything up and it's just like, right, that's coming home with me, that's coming home with me. And yeah, I had to say to Lana, do me a favour, just stop me from spending any more money. You know, because I must have spent about 40 quid dead quick on Saturday. And I was just like, boom, 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 boom. But that's going to be right. And then I saw figures at the Comic Cons and statues at the Comic Con, and I was just like, I want them, you know, at 40, 50 quid a statue.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite happily run away with it. But lucky enough, I give some money to Lana to look after for me, to have the mini done, to have the mini resprayed. Well, I would have been spending that.
Oh shit! I forgot. I picked up Dobby.
Oh, is he
Yeah,
wearing an Adidas towel there?
Adidas towel. No, he's not.
Turn it back to the other side, the other way. It looked like he had Adidas 3 stripe down one side a minute ago.
It literally was in the box in the charity shop, and I went, "How much do you want for that, love?" Before she put it out, she went, "Oh, a couple of quid." I was like, "All right then." I got it home, and Lou went, "That's scary as hell." That I was like, "It's Dobby. What do you want?" I was chuffed with that.
Yeah. But so we were in one of the model shops and we saw this lovely Wolverine statue. And I had my eye on it, Mike had his eye on it, and then we left it. It was 55 quid. And it was just like, it's nice, but not quite 55 quid nice. It's not like a worlds apart type big statue. Yeah. We were in the next day. We went to B&M in Chester in Greyhound, and they had them on the shelves in B&M for 30 quid. The same statues for 30 quid.
No way.
So I picked Mike one up, the Wolverine one up. It was a slightly different Wolverine. It wasn't in his yellow and blue. He was in his like Logan clothes. So I picked that up for 30 quid.
Did you ever go back and check on that thingy, by the way? That
the lightsaber. They haven't had them in the last 2 times we've been in.
Okay.
So we'll go back again before the weekend and see if you've got any in. Because we'll pick you one up. I did, however, this week I did pick you up some sliders from Birkenhead.
Oh yes, you did. I was literally just about to say to you, I owe you money for something. I'm sure I do.
Sliders from Birkenhead.
Yes, I'm looking forward to having them bad boys. I take it you're not posting it now, yeah?
Oh, there's no point in posting them when I was going to see you this weekend, wasn't it? You know, keep hold of them. That way it makes your gift bag look bigger.
Yeah, that way, yeah. If he's in a gift bag, though, it's a gift. Just to say it.
They'll be in the gift bag for transport. They might be in separate bag when I arrive. Yeah. Oh God. So to make space, because like you say, Rob was brilliant when he sent those Transformers and Rock Lords to me the other week. So to make space, I am sacrificing my Warhammer. I just haven't got the time or the love to put back into them and get back into it. Unfortunately, I've took too much time away, and I just can't pick them up again. So there's plenty of Warhammer going for sale on eBay, which I've actually listed some of it last night and sold.
I'm sure you just use this channel as a plug.
And sold some of it.
Did you?
Yes.
Wow.
So do you know when I was with you and I paid 24 quid for that one man?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got sold. He sold.
Christ.
So yeah, it's just the time and energy to put into them, and
No, that's fair enough.
we're just busy at the moment, and I just haven't got the time to take it up. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're on eBay. However,
I'll tell you what. Go on, mate. Sorry, go on.
but it did free up a couple of shelves for me to get some of the mid displays and some of the bits that I had elsewhere out. And yeah, the room's looking a lot neater and a lot tidier now.
I'll tell you what, though. One thing, I've managed to get a relatively new MacBook Air out of the mother-in-law. I say out the mother-in-law. She came down. We got her a MacBook Air a few years ago because she needed a new computer, but she didn't get on with it. Right. Anyway, she brings it down, and I had to get it repaired because the battery had gone because she's not used it. But in the meantime, she was like, "Oh, I'd prefer a Windows." So we went out and picked her up a Windows unit. So we've got the Mac back from being repaired. And I've ended up with a MacBook Air that's 2 year old. So, yeah, I'm not using it on this yet because I've got my old one upstairs at the minute, which is what I'm using on here. But yeah, I've got a MacBook Air out of a visit, so that's not too bad.
Just one thing that we haven't done for a while is movie news.
Yes.
Now, did you see that girl, whatever her face, is coming back as Wonder Woman? Did you see this week that Henry Cavill has announced he is making a Superman return?
No.
Yeah, I was reading an article and he's saying he's making a Superman return. Now, I don't know in what aspect because he doesn't go in if it's going to be a full movie or not. But yeah, he's talking about coming back as Superman.
That's mad. I mean, the thing is that I never wanted him not to go in the first place. To be honest, whether they've done a YouTube, whether they've done a thingy on it, because he's there's no better alternatives. I don't know whether they've done a U-turn on it.
I don't know if it's going to be sort of, hi, I'm Superman. Oh, by the way, 20 years ago, this is what I'm going to look like, and this is the new Superman.
Yeah.
He might only be in it for like 10 minutes or whatever. But I was like, with the announcement of Wonder Woman 3 and then him coming back and making a return as Superman, have we got room for Affleck as Batman? Yes, too fucking right we have.
Have you watched The Flash yet?
No.
Okay. I don't know, mate. I don't. I mean, I do not dislike. I quite like Henry Cavill as Superman. I quite like Ben Affleck as Batman. I know, obviously, Robert Pattinson's done a decent job, but I wasn't at a point where I needed somebody else new to do it. I was quite happy with Ben Affleck. It was quite a dark and gritty. I mean, it got darker with Robert Pattinson, to be fair, but yeah. So I'd be happy if any of them two did any of it, to be honest. But the thing is that we talked about this last week. This multiverse situation, it opens it up to anybody coming back at any point, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, the multiverse opens so many doors for things to happen. Like you say, you've got Affleck, Keaton, and Clooney in The Flash. There's your three Batmen. You could bring in Patterson if you wanted to do like a Batman noir type dark gothic thing.
Yeah.
And tie them all in. I'm not a huge fan of Patterson's Batman. I'm not a huge fan of Patterson playing Batman or the way that Batman was portrayed in the film. But hopefully the second one gives us a bit more in depth. And when we watched the Batman, when you came up to go to Liverpool that weekend, Steve, I said to you, we're going to have 3 hours worth of nothingness. And that's what you said when you came to the end as well.
Yeah.
Right. Peter's saying there, Tron Ares. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. I'm a big fan of Tron. I love Tron. I love Tron. I love Tron Legacy. That was a great movie.
Yeah.
It just wasn't well perceived, and that's why we haven't had a third film or a sequel to Tron Legacy. And I
Yeah.
don't know why. It's just so visually pleasing. It's a brilliant film. The soundtrack by Daft Punk is brilliant.
Yeah, I agree.
And but for some reason it just didn't take off with people. And he's saying it's a sequel to The Last Starfighter. I think the beauty of The Last Starfighter is that it's landed in the way where it's opened the bigger universe. You know, a small group of humans now know that there's aliens out there, but the whole planet doesn't know that there's aliens out there. The thing for me though is that have we left it too long to give us a sequel for The Last Starfighter? Or are we going to get a big bad that's happened 30 years later and we're going to get another one of these Coming to America sequels where he's now the older bloke and his son's now going to go off and fight for the Federation or whatever it was called?
Yeah, I agree with you. It seems to be something Hollywood's doing, though, isn't it? So you never know. You never know, mate. It's difficult to turn around and say, it's too late because it's over 30 years ago, because there has been these films that have actually done well. I know Ghostbusters Afterlife. Are we getting another sequel to that by the looks of it, aren't we?
Yeah.
But then there's been ones that have been a catastrophic, like is it Coming to America?
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens. At the minute, I was saying last week, this situation with the Barbie situation and how well that's done with Oppenheimer and that sort of thing. And there's like 50. I think they said there's 15. I want to say 50. No, I want to say 50. There's 50 potential Hasbro. Is it Hasbro? Mattel. Sorry, there's 50 potential Mattel things in the work. There's at least 9 of them that are actually physically in the works now.
Yeah, including G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, and Barney the Dinosaur.
Yeah. So, that might be flooding the market for a while. You never know. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I wouldn't mind that if there's a new Planet of the Apes. Although I did like the trilogy that they released recently. I do have all the films.
I'd love to see a sequel to Mark Wahlberg's Planet of the Apes.
Oh, sod off, really?
Yeah, because it set it up. It set it up. Modern day Planet of the Apes.
Is this the one many years afterwards? Is this the sequel that we've been craving?
Yeah, I would have loved to see that, because if I remember the Wahlberg one, it lands where he's sitting at Abe Lincoln's feet.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Jesus' feet.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be good to see. But like I say though, it's too late for that to make that happen, because you've had another trilogy of movies in that time.
I don't know if we can come back with a Tobey Maguire 4th film, then anything's possible, really. It'd be interesting though. The crowd has gone deadly silent. A Cinderella story out of nowhere. Former greenskeeper and now about to become the master champion. What's that?
The master. It'll be golf, won't it? The golf movie.
Oh, fair enough. Well, to be fair, if that's the case, then that's
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack, yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, just that's true. I was thinking that when I saw his picture. The one is a continuation from the last film. Okay, this one is a continuation of the last film. I mean, what they did with that trilogy was brought it into the modern day, didn't they? I mean, it was really, really good. The special effects and everything was outstanding.
Modern day futuristic, still the dystopian world, isn't it? It's still. It'll be nice to see Planet of the Apes where somebody's landed in because they go through a wormhole and everything else. Let's land on a modern day Planet of the Apes where the apes are all living in houses, driving Ford Fiestas.
That sounds a bit like Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
yeah and no. Guardians was a bit disappointing in that respect.
Have you watched
But,
it now?
yeah, it, for me, that'll be great because you would have modern day police, you'd have modern day, SWAT teams chasing humans down, and it'll be like watching Mutant X or whatever on a
Yeah,
sci-fi channel, wouldn't it? But in a
yeah,
movie sort of arena.
yeah,
Um, I like the Planet of the Apes trilogy. Do Mr. Practical makeup. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that it depends how they do it because I mean we are in a world now where CGI is very prevalent in the movie world, isn't it? And when you look at a lot of these movies nowadays, I would say probably 70% of it at least is going to be a CGI effect of some sort. That sort of stuff. So I mean, it must be a nightmare as an actor because you're acting with green screen constantly.
Well, I think it's been proven, hasn't it, with the baddies over the years that a physical baddie stood in front of the good guy
Yeah,
has more of an effect. It makes it more realistic than a CGI sort of
yeah,
baddie. If you look like the Hobbits and sorry, the Lord of the Rings, where they're all human, well,
yeah,
like people in whatever, and then if you look at the Hobbit when they've got the Goblin King and all that lot, it's all CGI. Which
yeah,
one's more believable? Which one's more threatening?
yeah. True.
You've got what was it when they did the Rohan? There was something like 2,000 horse riders turned up to film that
Mm,
scene where they're all riding the horses. They were all
yeah,
actually with their own horses turned up to do that scene. And
yeah,
then in The Hobbit, it was all CGI.
yeah,
It was, but it was more impressive to see the actual people. More expensive because
yeah.
but if you've got people that are willing to be extras and not getting paid for it to be in the film,
No,
then that's the way to do it for me.
yeah, true. But like I say, I mean, it's the way cinema's going. And I think when it first came out, CGI, we're looking at it going, "This is amazing." And I think now we're at a point where it's normalized to the point where when it is practical makeup and practical effects,
Hmm.
we sort of appreciate it more. I think, especially coming from our generation, I would imagine the sort of newer generations will probably think it's not as good as the CGI, but you can definitely tell. I mean, one of the scenes in the Flash, like I mean, one of the scenes, most of the scenes, but there's one big scene towards the end of the Flash where they've CGI'd a lot of people in it, and you can, I mean, you can tell it a mile off,
Yeah.
and it is so evident, and it's almost annoying, really, because it's quite bad. They're quite bad CGI. I don't know if that's ever going to get touched up in some sort of director's release or anything, but
I highlighted Peter's comment here about the RoboCop returns. Is that with? Is it the one from Altered Carbon? Was it Joel Kinnaman or
oh god, yeah, that
Kinnaman? Is it him that is coming back as RoboCop? That I didn't mind him as RoboCop. I just thought, obviously him coming off the back of like Altered Carbon and some of the other stuff he did to give him a
yeah.
mainstream film. The mainstream film was awful, but I didn't mind him as RoboCop.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, to be fair, he did a good job in it, and I think what's he called? Was it Samuel L. Jackson that was in it as well?
yeah,
Um, is there? I want to say Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman was the bloke that was the scientist.
Yeah, I mean, it had a good cast on it, and it wasn't. I think the thing is for me is that if I've never seen the first one, I'd quite enjoy the movie.
What
As
was it? The bloke that played Rorschach from Watchmen? Was he the
yeah, I
one
think
that
he
was
was in it as
he
well.
was the
Yeah,
one that was always competing with RoboCop, wasn't he? The
yeah, I think so.
drone.
Yeah, yeah, he was. Yeah,
So they had a really good cast in it. I just didn't think the storyline was great, and I didn't think the execution of it was great. But uh, can someone tell me in the chat? Is it Joel Kinnaman or something like that played RoboCop? I'd like to see him come back in a darker, grittier RoboCop like the original movie.
Yeah, but the thing is like I said to you, is if you'd never seen the original and had nothing to compare it to, would you not look at that movie and go, yeah, it was a good movie? I think it was almost on the back foot straight away because of the original, and I'm not talking about the sequels because they weren't very good.
Or Dark Fate or whatever it was
Yeah,
called.
or any of
Those
that
TV
Dark
movies.
Justice or whatever
Yeah.
it was. But looking at it from the property of it, knowing what the original was like, I was comparing it to that all the way through the movie. I mean, it's been on a couple of times since, and it's because it's been on telly. I just feel inclined to watch it.
Yeah.
But then I'm watching
Sorry,
it
Carl.
going,
Sorry, Carl. I meant the was it 2014, 2015
hey, man.
RoboCop? Not the original RoboCop. Sorry, I think it was it 2014, 2015, the remake RoboCop.
Yeah, no, Peter Weller was the original. But
It
then
was the
I mean,
original.
the funny thing about that is that he hated wearing that outfit the first time, but he still came back and did a sequel.
It nearly broke his back the first costume. It was like 80 odd £90 worth of weight.
Yeah, mind you, they did shave a bit off, didn't they? Because like, if he was getting into the car or anything, he wouldn't have the bottom bit on
Yeah,
because he couldn't get in and out the car with it on.
yeah. But like I said, that full costume was about 80, £90. So it was like carrying another person, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
around you.
definitely.
You know.
Yeah, yeah,
But no, I hope if it is him, Peter, I hope he comes back. I hope they give him justice in this one.
yeah,
Because, like I say, I do think he's a great sci-fi actor from what I've seen him in. But like I say, on the back of it, he never came back to do season 2 of Altered Carbon, did it? They replaced him with Anthony Mackie
yeah.
for
No,
some reason. But no, it's a good film. Well, not a good film. Good character in a bad film.
yeah.
Yeah. I know I've asked you this before, Steve. What other films would you like to see a sequel of that we've not had one, or a reboot of that we've not had?
I mean, the reboot thing, I'm not really fussed on them because I've not really watched anything and thought I'm glad. I mean, Planet of the Apes is a slightly different one because I did enjoy the first movie and a few of the others as well. But like,
Hmm.
it was a modern version that came out. They weren't. I don't think they were trying to do the same thing twice. To be honest, it was a slightly different story. But usually the remakes or the reboots tend to be quite crap.
Would you like to?
Um,
Would you like to see like a modern day Blazing Saddles or?
you wouldn't get it though. You wouldn't be. They wouldn't make it today. In fact, it would be interesting for them to do it just to see how they did it.
Yeah,
Because there is no way. I mean, there's no way they would be able to get away with it, and I think that's the problem with a lot of these. Until the mindset of the audience changes, then I don't think you'll see that again.
I
You
don't
won't.
think. I think I was watching something the other day, and an advert came on about an alien sitting in the boardroom talking to humans, and he was like, "Right, okay, so how many
Oh,
sex?" Yeah, I highlighted that a minute ago. Um,
yeah. Sorry, I missed that.
an alien talking to a boardroom with people going, "All right, so you've got two genders, the male, the female, and all this." That. And he went, "No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Some people don't identify as either of them." And he's like, "How am I supposed to give you technology when you don't know what fucking breed you are?" And all,
Breed.
yeah, it was just something silly like that. I think it was like a advertising a comedy show or something. Um, and I thought, yeah, that's probably about right. But if they can get away with it in that,
Yeah.
could they get away with it in the mainstream
I
sort of
think
movie?
I don't know. I mean, we tend to touch on this every other week, and I'm sorry, chap, but it's just the way the society is at the minute, especially in Hollywood, if you like. But like the thing with like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, you know, I don't want to go into it too much, but from what I can gather, doing a bit of research, the the Snow White character. I mean, the girl, Sleeping Beauty. No, Snow White, innit? Snow White, yeah.
No, like, she's got herself into trouble, hasn't she, for being pregnant?
The woman who's playing her, has come out with all sorts of comments
Mm.
about how they've done things slightly differently because the incredibly famous kissing scene where she's asleep, for some reason he didn't have permission to kiss her or something along those sort of lines and all that good stuff. So the other thing as well is that obviously Prince Charming saves the day, whereas in this new film he doesn't. I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I'd be surprised if it's not the other way around. But the thing is that when you've got big companies, and I mean giant companies like Disney, putting this sort of stuff out after saying that they've listened to the audience and they've realised things, like it's not going to change for a while, you know. And it's a shame, really, because I mean I've not been to Disney for many years, and from what I can gather, it's quite it's changed quite a bit. I mean, they put Minnie Mouse in a business suit or something rather than a polka dot dress. I'm not even sure what that's going to look like, but
to show that women empowered and they could be equal.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But
the
thing is, nothing against that, but it's just I can't explain it. But especially when I went to Disney and to Universal and stuff when I was younger, it was like an out of body experience. It was a completely different world.
So, it's a question for you then. Daffy Duck.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Duck. Bugs Bunny. All run around with no pants on for 40 years, 60 years.
Yeah.
Are they now all fully dressed? Because technically they're all male characters showing off the bits.
God knows. I don't.
So
the thing is, I would be so disappointed
when you mentioned Mickey Mouse.
If I pay thousands and thousands of pounds to go to Florida and I go to Disney, and it's like that, I will be so disappointed. It'd be unreal. And this is Jeff said it there, and Jeff will know. Disney is the most politically correct place on earth now. Jeff, it ruins it because one of my targets in life, you know, especially when this channel really takes off to at least 1,000, and we're in about a penny a video.
That was cancelled before then.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably true. But you know, I want to go back to Disney and to Universal one day. That's my goal, you know. And the way that it's going, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it, you know. And I'm hoping I do. But it's just the way the world is at the minute. Baz says British TV dramas on the wish list. I nearly bought this the other day. So you've got Lovejoy, Bread, Boone, The Thin Blue Line, The Bill, and Minder. I'd love a new version of The Bill, but then I've been saying that we've got things like Line of Duty and stuff, so I think that's a bit more high octane.
The Thin Blue Line, that we tried to watch The Thin Blue Line a couple of months ago, and it's not as funny as it used to be.
Is it not?
I don't know if my sense of humour has changed, but I had Geek with Dave's. Yeah, I had Geek with Dave's comment highlighted there. He said he wouldn't mind a sequel to Equilibrium. Is that the Christian Bale one that came out at the same time as The Matrix in Ultraviolet, where it's a bit more religious, and he's like the assassin? Because I feel like that's quite a good movie. I think that was quite understated as a movie, or not well received, but because of the time period it came out, you know, you're releasing something like that within Ultraviolet and The Matrix there, and
Equilibrium you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's Christian Bale, isn't it?
Yeah, it is that one.
So, just going back to this one here, I nearly picked up Bread the other day. I wanted to watch that because I've not seen that in many years. But the theme tune just haunts me because when I start singing, it's in my head. I'm stuck in there for bloody days. But it was such a catchy tune. But yeah, I remember watching that as a kid. So, Luke, do you think they'll make another Transformers film?
Yes. I think we're getting the animated movie, aren't we? Which is the Cybertron one.
Yeah. Hey, Neil.
if you've been watching the show, you know I have been requesting this since fucking live stream one.
They've heard your prayers.
Give me a War on Cybertron movie. You know, with everything that's going on at the moment with Activision, because they've just re-released the War and Fall of Cybertron figures back into circulation. They're trying to find the War and Fall of Cybertron video games. Unfortunately, Activision have lost the archive copies of them, so they can't find them anywhere because they've got to remaster them and re-release them to go with the toys that they just released. I've got the War of Cybertron Soundwave there, and I've got the Grimlock up there. So they were quite expensive. The new toys are only about 20 quid now in Smith's. So for them to release all of this and then give us a Cybertronian movie, an animated Cybertronian movie, I think that's speaking volumes about the live action films, because we've all been crying out for a 2-hour movie with the graphics from the opening 5 minutes of Bumblebee.
Yeah,
you know, that's what we wanted, and we're not necessarily getting that, but we're getting close to that. Would I like to see a sequel to Bumblebee? No, I wouldn't like to see a sequel to Bumblebee.
I quite enjoyed Bumblebee. I thought that was a good movie, to be fair. Hi, Erica.
I really enjoyed Bumblebee. Like I say, I enjoyed the graphics, I enjoyed the story. I'm not a big fan of what they did with Dreadwing, but other than that, for Bumblebee, you know, and John Cena was just a little bit of an annoying character in that way. I really did enjoy Bumblebee, but like I say, to go into Rise of the Beasts and change the characteristics of the characters to what we got from Bumblebee, they using Wheeljack as an example there.
Yeah.
If you were going to give me Wheeljack from Bumblebee, you would have the big flashy ears and stuff like that, which would have been great. There was no need to change him. But every live action movie, one of the characters changes aesthetics for whatever reason, and you never get the same thing. So I would like to have a continuation of a film where everybody looks the same from one movie to the next, but give me the G1 styling all the way through that. I hope that's answered your question, Luke. Yeah.
You don't need a prompt to get onto Transformers, or do you really? It just flows naturally for you.
It does, just like Mean Girls flows naturally for you.
Well, what can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Yeah. Little Steve.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I've got to move my box, apparently, because Erica keeps misreading it.
Just as you keep misreading it, Steve's never seen one.
Cheeky sod.
Yeah.
You see these? Pogs, man. Pogs.
Pogs, yes. You showed me them on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so one film I would love to see while we're on that type of topic will be a Gears of War.
Yeah.
Gears of War movie, you know. The answer to me prayers with Halo. We've got the series, not the movie. I would love to see a movie of Halo. But Halo Season 2 is out soon, so big thumbs up to that.
Yeah. It's Transformers 18, The Search for More Money. That's probably about right, Jeff, to be fair, mate. I think they're just going to keep churning them out until people stop watching them.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't, because it does get to the point where we're going to be where we are with Marvel, where I was already skeptical about Rise of the Beast, not liking Beast Wars.
Yeah.
You know, and the core story around this film, and then it wasn't necessarily a great film for the purist. I know people really did enjoy it, but it's for fans of Transformers, it's just not a great film. And I just hope they don't just keep milking it to get us stuff out. However, I did like the G.I. Joe references throughout the film, and then you get the cutscene. I can't wait for that movie. That should be brilliant.
So Erica said she got the Bread DVD from a charity shop, not got around to watching it yet. I was actually looking at CEX for the box set, online because it's one of my on the list to get. I'd picked up. I'm sure I'd shown you, but I think it was last week. I finally got the series 1 to 7 of Orange Is the New Black. That was on my list to get. I picked up Home Improvement from Vinted, so that turned up. But yeah, there's a couple of them that were to get, and Bread was one of them. So I'm keeping my eye out. You don't see it very often.
Is that better, Shabba? Shabba's asked what's up with me, Mike.
I don't know. It was a little bit quiet today. I mean, I've moved mine slightly because I'm just trying it out, just to see if it makes any difference.
I bought one of these blue snowball things from CEX, and to be fair, I think it's a bit hit and miss.
Yeah.
If when it wants to work properly and when it doesn't want to work properly, I might go and trade it back into CEX and buy another one. I don't know.
Yes. Well,
I've just changed it from USB microphone to snowball microphone, and it's the same microphone, and it's fine.
Well, there's one that's turned up in our one, which is a Bluebird something or other, but it's like £170, and I've been doing some research on it, to try and get an idea on it. It's thrown me into a bit of a whirlwind of microphones. To be fair, yeah, it's a Bluebird SL Studio condenser microphone, which is basically the same company than this. These things here. But I was looking at them, and then I was looking at, is it the Rhodes one?
Thanks, Erica.
Just to see if it was any better. What's that?
All right, yeah. The only thing I haven't got is I haven't got one of the fancy spit filters that you've got there. You know.
Well, yeah, I do spit a lot, so it's
I haven't got
my mic getting all wet. But I'm trying it because obviously usually it's quite far back, so I'm just trying it a bit closer just to see if I can test the audio if it's any better. But then I keep looking at that rather than the computer, so I'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah,
probably put it over the computer.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do with my microphone because, like I say, I bought this because the laptop one wasn't particularly great.
Yeah, they're just designed for Teams calls, really.
Yeah, so it wasn't particularly great, and I don't want to have to sit here with my headset on so I can talk to you through the headset. So I might try it with my Bluetooth headphones on one day and just see what that's like.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I've got the snowball thing because a couple of people bought it roughly the same time I did, so it sort of influenced me. And yeah, I have to say I'm not overly impressed.
It's all right, better.
Yeah, you can hear me now over your dorsal tones. Right, where are we? I'm sure we had a blue snowball, sent it back to Amazon. No better than the laptop, mate. Yeah, I think it's hit and miss with me, Neil, because sometimes I do get an echo and I can hear an echo. It's not giving me the echo now. I've changed it, and I might have to do that. For some reason, it seems to be working better now. It's actually recognised it's a snowball and not as the USB mic.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you been watching the Bear and Full Monty? Right, I haven't seen the Full Monty yet, but people have told me it's really, really good as a series. So I might have to give that one a try.
You've seen the Bear? Because a lot of people have been talking about that.
I've not seen, like I said, I haven't had time to watch many series. Saying that, I have just watched all 3 series of Lost in Space again because it's back on Netflix.
Is it?
Yeah, so I've watched all 3 series of that. That seems.
He says he has no time to watch things and then reels off all the series that he's been watching.
No, but that just seems to fly by though. That series, that Lost in Space.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't watched any of my new DVDs, and I know Lana's going to kick me because I keep buying them, and I've got hundreds and hundreds of hours of TV series there to watch.
Nice one, Jeff.
Yeah,
I saw a lovely picture of him and his wife out the other day on Facebook.
Yeah, she looked like she was reaching for a purse though when she was at that dinner table. So
Paying, you mean? Do you
yeah,
think he was paying? That's
yeah, I think
shocking.
she was paying. I think Santa says, "Look, I work hard one day a year.
Yeah.
You've got to pay the rest of the time." You know,
He's saving up to provide for everybody over Christmas.
that's it. Yeah. Look, wench, I'm busy building wooden figures.
So it's only August.
Yeah,
Times are hard.
yeah.
Don't get paid till January.
Christmas stuff hasn't hit the shelves yet. It's only August.
Yeah, it's not
Give it a
Q4
week.
yet. You're paying. Oh, bless you. I hope you're well, though. I watched the first episode of Full Monty and hated it. All right, Peter. That's interesting.
Ah, right. Here we go. So, right. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
microphones in that place where I got my lightsaber from. And I don't know if I need to, because they're only £2, so I don't know if I'm going to pick one of them up and try live.
Are you like ex-Amazon or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But they're not expensive. They're only like a couple of quid. So
Yeah.
I might try that. Luke's, I'd give the Full Monty a go if I were you, Erica. Watch the movie.
Yeah.
You know, give it a good run through. Luke's saying if you're looking forward to Ahsoka. Now, the thing is, Luke, with Ahsoka, if you don't know who Ahsoka is, because she's not technically a mainstream Star Wars
Yeah,
character,
a little bit.
you know, then I think you're probably going to struggle with this series because there's not you won't actually understand what she's chasing. You might have seen her in Mando and you might have seen her in the Book of Fett, but if you haven't seen right from the Clone Wars where she was introduced, and I'm talking the film, the Clone Wars, the animated one, and then the 5-6 series of the cartoon, and then she's in Rebels as well. There's a lot of character build to catch up with Ahsoka before you realize who she is, and then the bit where she's actually chasing Ezra and the crew that she picks up in the series is actually from Rebels. So there's a lot of backstory in this, and I think if they don't do the first 2 episodes right, I think you're going to lose a lot of people that aren't diehard Star Wars. With Obi-Wan, you can sort of frig it. With Andor, you can just frig it. Everybody knows who Obi-Wan Kenobi is, isn't it? Let's just throw him in a shit situation for 40 minutes, and it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's the same with Endor, you know, because it's not a character that anybody knows, but
that's true.
you know him from Rogue One, so it's sort of like, yeah, he's just bundling around, and you see odd references here and there. But Ahsoka is for Ahsoka to be a main character and for her to carry the series. I think it's got to be handled correctly in that first 2 episodes.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, they'll probably spend quite a bit of time doing some sort of backstory just to fill in the people that haven't watched any of the Clone Wars or anything like that. You know, where she's in it. So it'll be interesting. I mean, it's they've definitely put a lot of money behind promoting it, haven't they? Like they've really pushed the boat out with this one.
It's one of the Star Wars series I'm actually looking forward to. I love Ahsoka as a character. I think Ahsoka as a character in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I know. Just what Shaba's saying there. He said I got bored of Andor. He got bored of. I think this is the reason why they're doing so much marketing around this new one. Is because they've now sort of damage limitation off the last one, aren't they? Really.
So Andor was 4 or 5 filler episodes in a 6-7 episode series.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan had 2 or 3 thrown in there that I think they could have cut out quite easily.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Oh, Mandalorian 2.5 with the Book of Boba Fett.
Mandalorian 2.5, yeah.
I could have done without those 6 episodes of that, and especially the 3.5 episodes of Mando in it.
Yeah.
And that's all because he was off filming shots for Mandalorian and stuff like that, wasn't he?
Mm.
So yeah, I think they could have done away with that quite easily. That Book of Fett.
Yeah. The fan cut of Kenobi turns into a movie is a lot better. Okay, I had heard there was a fan cut, but I've not seen it. I enjoyed the series, but it was one of those where they could have cut out. They could have easily cut out three episodes, 2 or 3 episodes in the middle, couldn't they?
The whole thing of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
And it opens up such a black hole for A New Hope, right? When she says, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you once served my father during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Sorry, Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I forgot the fact that I met you when I was a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You saved my life when I was an 8-year-old. And you're probably going to save my life again in season 2.
Yeah.
But I forgot all about that.
Yeah. I may need you again for a second season.
Yeah.
Let's just see how it goes.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine?
If you would, they could have done so much more with Kenobi without the Princess Leia sort of tie-in.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, thank you, Elaine.
Hey, Elaine.
Thank you. Yeah, I am looking forward to Ahsoka, but like you say, I do enjoy Ahsoka as a character. I think the character progression between Clone Wars through to Rebels was brilliant. That revelation when she realizes who Vader actually is.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was awesome. And like I say, I just hope that they handled these first 2 episodes of Ahsoka brilliantly, where a general audience that don't know who she is can pick up on it quite quickly and go, there you go. If it's not, you've lost half your watching audience, and then you're not gonna get her again, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true.
What else is coming out? Oh, did you see the posters for Toxic Crusader?
No, I haven't seen that yet. Does it look good?
The Toxic Avenger, sorry, not Toxic
Avenger. Yeah.
Yes, that looks absolutely amazing. Have you seen Winning Time about the LA Lakers early 80s onwards? No, I haven't. That's on Netflix at the moment, isn't it? Winning Time. I did see that. Do you think the official release of Prey will open the door for streaming titles? Well, Dave, it's interesting because I've bought a bootleg version of Prey. Steve got the same version as me did. I did. My guy ordered them both at the same time. Yes and no. I don't think it will open for mainstream Blu-ray. I think it will open it up for collector's edition steelbooks. I think this is them dipping the toe in the water to see if anyone's going to be interested. In my opinion.
In your opinion.
In my opinion, I think this is them dipping the toe and saying, "You guys have asked for it. Here's the collector's steelbook. Off it goes." And I think that's where it's going to go. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree with the likes of AJ and people like that who have Dan's Man Cave and people like that who have put videos out to say this is going to be the death of physical media. I do agree it's going to be the death of mainstream media, but a lifeline to collector's editions.
Fucking hell. Neil, I haven't seen that about the Lakers. Have you? Have you watched that Winning Time?
No.
I'm trying to think. I watched one recently, but I don't know who it was. It's really annoying.
I watched one about Logan Paul and...
Oh, that's on... Is it Netflix?
Brother. Yeah, The Untold. What's his brother called? Logan and Jake.
I don't know.
That was an interesting watch, that,
I started watching like the first bit of it, and I was like, I'm not sure if I can do this. And I ended up turning it off for a bit.
It is a very interesting take, and it does let you into Jake Paul's sort of mindset.
I'll tell you what we got stuck watching while her mum was here. Lou put it on. I think it's on Amazon or Freevee or whatever it was on Amazon. Was the Great British Benefit Handout. It was a couple of years ago. It was on. I think it was on Channel 5 or Channel 4, and they basically picked families or people in benefits to give them 25 grand, 26 grand. Basically a year's worth of benefits for them to sign off and try and start a business. And it must have been about 6 or 7 episodes, and we got stuck watching that for a few days. That was quite interesting. I think they did like probably about 6 episodes per season or something, but they only did it for like 2 seasons. If you've got a spare 9 million, the windmill from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is for sale. No, unfortunately not. Physical media won't die until all of us old farts die off. Yeah, that's probably true.
That's closer for some than others, that, Jeff.
That's probably true.
Dave's saying here, collectors need to back it hard to get a chance of other releases. Yeah, we were in a Facebook Messenger group before with a couple of the other content makers, and one of them shared the Prey Steelbook, and then he goes and throws in the 6 Transformers Steelbooks just for my benefit. Thank you very much. And it made me question: am I going to buy these Steelbooks? Yes, it did. It did raise a question there, because obviously, I've got the 2 cars that I'm doing at the moment as well. So where do I put my money? Steve was quite funny saying that my cars is the one thing Lana's not got me a 1-in 1-out policy on at the moment.
But the question is, right, is look at it this way before you say anything, right, is you've said to me that you've downgraded or got rid of some of your figures and stuff like that because you want to get the better, higher quality NECA figures and all that sort of good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Why, with the people that we speak to, the stuff that's being put out, like your Xavi exclusives, your American ones and stuff like that, they're all the higher end of the media. So if you were to get a copy of Prey, it would be being in a steelbook or with a special edition or whatever. It's ultimately the better quality version when it comes to aesthetically pleasing.
Well, it's the only official version.
Yeah, but the thing is that and
I think that's the point where I've got to understand it's going to be the only physical version of this film that's been released.
That's true. And it depends. Is it? I didn't get to check. Is it 4K?
I don't know.
I was going to say
it's only coming out on a steelbook, though, isn't it? There's 2 discs, so it must be 4K and Blu-ray. There's 2 discs in the picture, but it's going to be the only physical release of this film.
True.
Right?
That we know of so far.
If it was a Blu-ray release only, would I pick up the official Blu-ray? Probably. With it being a steelbook, and I don't collect steelbooks, am I going to dive down that rabbit hole? And like you say, I am very torn on that new Dread steelbook. I love that. I love the artwork on those Transformers steelbooks that was shared before. There's several other films there that I like, and I don't want to open the floodgates to collecting steelbooks.
But if you're only getting the movies that you want to collect, then there isn't a problem.
I started off collecting Transformers that I only wanted.
I can't argue with you on that one.
But and like I say, there's channels there, Paul Magpie and Big Paulie and AJ and the Bounty Duo. They're all saying the same thing.
Yes, Jeff.
That's it. Is how many the thing is that we're all buying these bootlegs because they're not releasing these films.
Yeah,
and now we're getting a film that we've all said that we wanted to release, but we're not getting it in a standard format. We're getting it in
15
the
quid
steel
from
book.
after, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're getting it in a steel book, and I think that's where Dave's saying there that Dave and Jeff are saying physical media won't die. I think your bog standard releases will die, and then you're only going to get your collector's editions.
Yeah, your boutique ones.
Yeah, and that's where physical media is going to die, because I'm not spending 80 quid on a copy of a film that, and then that's where bootlegging becomes wrong then, because there is a physical, official version of that film out.
Yeah, but there's still the thing is though the problem is that especially in society these days, like we've had this conversation before. I think it was with Lee and Rob. It was about when is enough enough. The prices become inflated because of what it's like these days, and also because they are more premium packaging.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like Prey, if it's the only release that you've got of Prey, then sod's law, you need to buy it, because otherwise you won't get it.
Yeah, Peter's saying there it's a limited edition, so I'm gonna have to get Lee to order me a copy of Prey.
Yeah,
but if it was out on standard release, I probably would have opted for that than the steelbook.
Well, it depends how it goes. It might come out on a normal release afterwards.
I think I'm going to have a proper conversation with Lee and figure out how much all these Best Buys cost me, because there is a few there, so I might have to put a bit of a shopping list together. Spider-Man Lotus, no. It was talking about. It was actually, yes, I have heard of that.
We were talking about it last week, weren't we, Luke? I'm sure we were talking about it last week.
Is that where I've heard it from? Because I did watch your streams back last week.
One sec, mate. What does he want, babe?
Huh?
What does he want?
Have his tablet.
One sec. Down the tablet, babe. You got it?
Right, go downstairs, eat your donuts, please. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Jeff. And I think this is where bootlegging and piracy back in the late 80s, early 90s sort of took off, because it was expensive to buy and go to the cinema and stuff like that back then. And then, people were getting these films and being able to burn them themselves, etc. And then the price of everything come right down. It was more accessible to go to the cinema. I remember my nan telling us a story about Braveheart, when we got a copy of Braveheart on pirate. And my nan is a copy of Braveheart on DVD it was. And then my nan was like, I've seen this film. And it was just been released in the cinema, and when it came out, and my nan had seen it on pirate video months before it was released in the cinema.
Napster for the win.
Yeah. Months before it was released in the cinema, my nan had seen Braveheart on pirate video.
You had seen what?
Braveheart months before release on pirate video. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's going to bring back the likes of LimeWire and things like that again. Where you download it. What was the Pirate Bay's? The other one, isn't it?
Yeah. LimeWire was a bit before that, though. LimeWire was to download an MP3 song. You'd be waiting 24 hours.
Yeah, dial-up internet, and it
took a week to download like Blade.
Yeah,
and then you find out it wasn't anything to do with it.
Yeah, it was somebody sharpening a knife or something fucking stupid.
Oh, it was just DVD. It was a DVD. I was going to say screener, but no, it's not. It's the cam one where some guy gets up halfway through.
Yeah,
go to the toilet.
You just see the head like that.
Yeah, just a shadow. Like what is going on here?
Get out my way. But if you do go down this route of collectibles only,
yeah,
right, is that going to play any part in the films that you buy going forward, Steve?
100%, yeah, 100%. See, at the minute, as I said to you before, There's a few things that I'm looking at the minute. So, firstly, it's getting TV series of stuff that I watched as a kid, or stuff that I generally like Orange is the New Black, stuff like that. I mean, I know I can literally go on Netflix and just watch that, but I'd started a collection with them and I wanted to complete it, but I couldn't get them past Series 4 on Blu-ray. But predominantly a lot of it's the older stuff. And then, like, I'm picking up some of the newer stuff because I want to see it. Like, I got Scream, Mario, and Evil Dead. You know, but if they do go down that route where it is boutique, then I'll become a lot more picky because I don't want to be where I would be spending £15 on a Blu-ray, say, or maybe cheaper at CEX. There's going to be limited runs of these things that I want that then you won't get it otherwise. Having a limited edition, it drives the demand, doesn't it?
What would you class as a limited run if you had to put a figure on it?
Well,
200,000 copies, 50,000 copies. Is it going to be like the Alien figure where there was only 5,000 of them made and they all come numbered?
Maybe. I don't know. But it drives the sales, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you've got fans like us, it drives that sales because they're like, oh my God, I don't want to miss out on this. And like AJ said a few times, you take the chance, especially with stuff like Amazon nowadays, is you'll go on there and there'll be something that's come up for pre-sale. Not well, I might hang on, I might not. And you run the risk of it going out of stock and being sold out. But then there is ones that go on there and it'll sit there for years before they finally get through the stock.
No, there you go. I've just ordered my copy of Prey.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. It'll just put. I don't think it'll add any more value to something like these.
No.
When we're looking at it, I don't think it will do. But I think films that are already hard to get on DVD or Blu-ray now, will that put the prices up even more for them? Do you know when you walk into CEX and you see a film for 25 quid on Blu-ray because it's no longer printed, and is that going to skyrocket those prices? More likely, because they're the ones that people are going to be looking at, because the collector's editions for them films are probably going to be a lot more.
Exactly, yeah.
But then you get what we were talking about last week about the Gladiator box set. £100 for the Gladiator box set because it comes with a metal poster.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only difference. It comes with a metal movie poster. It's not worth 100 quid.
No.
In my opinion. What's Duke asking here? I think they should. The Amazing Spider-Man 3 of Andrew Garfield. They left a great link to the Sinister Six at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, where you saw all the costumes, and he's walking through it, and you knew who they were straight away by looking at it. I don't think it needs to be linked to the Spider-Verse. I don't think it needs to be linked to a multiverse scenario.
No,
you've got it tied up there. Just give us the trilogy finisher.
Yeah,
that's all it needs, in my opinion. Okay, now should we put the link in the chat and see if anyone wants to come on?
Yeah, kind of.
For the last 10 minutes. There you go. The one thing that I would like to talk about, because like I say, that you've got your figures and everything there in the background and stuff. We were talking the other week about the collector's editions coming with statues and stuff like they did do for games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And would that drive you to buy stuff? Now, I was looking at these new pop figures that come in the bigger boxes, and they've got like the poster behind it. So they're not like the Jurassic Park one. You've got the T-Rex, and then there's the gate, and it's just on the piece of card. I don't know what the benefit of they are.
Well, I was looking at one on Vinted. I'm sure it was obviously from America, but it was the Home Alone, Marv and Thingy.
Mm.
And it was them going up the stairs, and the background was the cardboard background was this obviously the stairs going up, and the sort of rest of the house, and it looked pretty cool. But it's just a scenic thing, isn't it? Just to add a scene to it.
I'm just looking at your room, and obviously you've seen my room. Where would you store something like that?
No, and this is the thing. I mean, they wanted £100 for it, and I was like, "Urgh." But
Because
it
you're
would
going
have
to
been
keep it in
awesome.
the box.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
So where would you put that stuff?
Don't go down the Funko rabbit hole, says Dave.
Yeah, I dipped my toe into that, Dave, and then they've all gone. I sort of lost my love with Funko when there was 18 Captain Kirks, right? And the difference is one's got his finger like that, the other one's got a finger like that, the other one's got
One's
a
got a
hand
finger like that.
You can put them all together, and you've got the Dance to Vogue,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's the same character. Wolverine's another one. Instead of him being like that, he's like that, or like that. Vogue.
It's a bit like the wrestlers in the 90s, isn't it? When they had the figures and all they could do is like one movement, that literally.
Yeah. You got the
Even
bushwhacker.
if you were like that, it was literally like that. That's all they could do. They couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that I was talking to Luke about it previously because he's got quite a nice little collection. And I was saying to him, look, the thing is for me is that I've probably got about 30 now, whereas I had a wall, an absolute wall full of them. And I know there was a wall because I built it from top to ceiling in the boxes, right? And there was quite a few of them that were worth a bit of money, and I managed to get some decent money for them when I'd sold them. But I was buying somebody else's collection. So I had the stuff that I had, and then they were like, oh, do you want this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll have that. Do you want this? Yeah. And I think most of the ones that he had, I ended up buying off him. And it was stuff that I was sort of impulse buying on rather than stuff that I actually really wanted. And so I've kept a few that I wanted and sort of started again, if you like. So I sold all the rest off. The guy who bought them, he travelled like 4 hours to come and pick them all up, so he definitely wanted them. But yeah, I sort of started again.
Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with impulse buying. My whole room's based on impulse buy. But there's a point with the Funkos, and I think I missed out the early days of Funko when there was only one copy of something.
Yeah.
And it was like, right, that's the one that you've got to buy. That's the one, that you wanted. And I think I found my interest in Funkos when we started reselling and we started paying a bit more attention to boot sales and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I was picking stuff up. But then that's where you open up. You're trying to find the vaulted ones. You're trying to find, but then when you realise actually that there's more vaulted ones than there is non-vaulted ones, and then it's harder to find ones that aren't vaulted.
I mean, the thing is, at this point, you're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of different figures, aren't you?
Yeah. You're welcome, mate.
No worries,
I apologise. I wasn't here last week, mate. And we'll have to get you back on sometime to have a proper chat.
I missed the Funko Pop train. Never been interested. Yeah, Jeff. Well, I'd imagine as Santa, you probably delivered quite a few.
I was going to say you must deliver thousands of them every year.
How could you miss it?
But the thing with the Funkos, for me, was that when you look at the Transformers ones, for example, I've got a couple of the Transformers ones there. I've got Prime and Shockwave. There's a couple of them that I want, that the Megatron and stuff like that, and Starscream. But then there's others that no, these are the normal size Funko ones. There are big ones as well.
Yeah.
But But there's so many other Transformers out there. Like I've got that deformed Soundwave, and I prefer them over the Funko Pops.
Yeah, that's true.
If I'm looking at them, but then I've got. I did have like all the Avenger ones and stuff like that I was picking up at boot sales, and but when you see in Thor and there's 4 different Thors holding a hammer in different positions on the boot sale table, you're like, what the fuck am I choosing these for?
Yeah.
But the thing that I is the Funko Soda Pops. Where's my Soda Pop gone here now? It's down here somewhere. There you go. It's at the back. Let me get this. You've probably all seen what I'm talking about anyway. It's the Funko Soda Pops.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So this is the Johnny Rico one from Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best not to delve down this rabbit hole, but some of these figures look really, really really good.
Yeah.
I've just dropped Johnny Rico down there because I've just picked up the finger. Yeah.
Jeff said that I deliver many toys to children that I would never personally have interest in. Good answer.
There's Johnny Rico.
Yeah.
And they look really, really cool. But I'm trying not to buy these. One thing I never shown you, and I just come across it then in pickups of the week.
Ah, look at that.
RoboCop bubble bath.
Who doesn't want RoboCop bubble bath?
Who did not want RoboCop bubble bath as an 80s kid?
That would be amazing. Do you remember though? I mean, there was loads back in the day when we were younger, though, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like it must have been bizarre for all these parents going out and having to buy a bubble bath because it had looked like Wallace and Gromit or something.
Yeah.
Oh, even better. The thing is, that there would have been aimed at kids.
Yeah.
And the film's an 18.
Yeah. But
Like, Mum, can you get me a RoboCop bubble bath, please? How do you know what RoboCop is? Dad was watching it.
Dead or alive, you're bathing with me.
That's one way to get your kids to bathe, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mental. That I mean, I was talking about it last week, but they were going on about Batman and Batman Returns, and the thing is with Batman Returns is it was a lot darker than a lot of these sponsored places were aware of. So like McDonald's and that absolutely lost their shit because they were putting out these toys in the Happy Meals and everything and promoting the film like mad, and then watched it and realised that Penguin was biting off somebody's nose.
Yeah.
Amongst other things that happened in that film. So I think they tried to sue the film or something or other. But it's that there is a perfect example of that's not aimed at adults, that's aimed at kids.
Yeah.
And the films are bloody 18. In fact, that film's more gruesome than Batman Returns.
But I couldn't. I found that up in Birkenhead at Birkenhead Market.
Yeah. Yep. Watching behind your ears. That's what we're saying, Dave. That was Bubble Bath. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like you say there, Neil. I had the RoboCop figures. I had RoboCop. I had the police car. I had the police bike. I had this jetpack.
You were, weren't you?
Look, when my mum used to say to us, "What do you want to do today?" and I go, "Can we go to B&M Bargains?" Right? That's not. Let's go to B&M at the end of your street. That's let's go from Runcorn to Blackpool because that's the only B&M that was in the country at the time, and they had figures that you couldn't buy anywhere else because no fucker wants to buy them. Right?
We had the cheap ones that weren't really RoboCop. They looked similar to RoboCop, but it definitely wasn't RoboCop.
it was green instead of blue. The
Robo policeman, it called it.
Yeah. So you could those are the days where they had the big B&M in Blackpool, and you had to drive an hour to get there, an hour and a half to get there, and you could pick up all sorts, your Karate Kid toys and stuff like that, because it was like end of line. No one else wanted them, and they just had thousands of them on the stores.
Oh, just that one character.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, I want him, but he's the same as him up there. No, but he's the same. And your mum was trying to explain to you it's the same bloke, just in different boxes. And you're like, no, but no, it's different. They're just like, no, it's not. And, it's...
Robert Cop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean.
But those were the days. But now B&M's got these toys that are quite accessible now, shall we say.
But you don't think that, like, B&M have started selling those things because we don't have a Toys R Us anymore? Like, we've got Smiths and the Entertainer or whatever, but, like, do you think that that's pushed a lot of these retailers to sort of go out and get some of this stuff in from the suppliers? Or has it pushed the suppliers to these places?
I think it highlights how expensive Smiths are when you walk into Smiths and you see those Cobra Kai figures for 40 quid, and you walk into B&M and they're 18 quid.
Yeah, that's true.
I was saying before about that Diamond Select statue. One was 55 quid, and these had them in for 30 quid.
Wow.
I think it highlights the markup some of the shops are putting on them, yes.
Yeah. Mind you, having saying that, though, I mean, you don't know what price they're getting them for when they're buying them in bulk. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of B&Ms. Do you know what I mean? It was always a case with places like Toys R Us, because if you had your independent shop, like, say, Z's shop or something, he could buy X amount for a certain amount of profit. Places like Toys R Us, if they made an order, they didn't make an order for 100 of them, did they? They'd make an order for 100,000 of them.
But if you take the pub industry, right?
Yeah.
You're buying 100 million units of fruit shoots.
Yeah.
And you get them for 0.01p a unit. Where if you buy it 100 fruit shoots, you're probably getting for 5p a unit, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. B&M started off buying end-of-line toys from big toy shops.
Yeah.
And putting them out there, right? And then they were buying end-of-line toys from abroad. So they were bringing in the American toys, as in the Robocops and stuff like that, and selling them over here. Because don't forget, we didn't get the Robocop cartoon on the first run.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You're lucky, Shabby, you've got at least one of those figures in your local B&M. I've got none of them in mine. Never seen them in mine.
Yeah, there's only Reese in ours as well. But yes, they do. Yeah, I was there. I've got a couple of the big Warhammer figures from there.
John Wick and Bruce Lee for £8 each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to, when you come up, Steve, you'll have to swing by the B&Ms up here.
I'll definitely try.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
But independent. Yeah, B&M, I'm sure B&M Warehouse used to be an independent.
I'm
sure it did. And that's why there was only one of them in the country.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, they are very good quality. They are very high detailed figures. The McFarlanes, like I say, I've kept the bigger Warhammer ones.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me not to go in there and buy the Imperial Guard one, for example, and the Dark Tide one. It is hard for me not to do that, Steve, because they're £40 figures and they've got them in for $12.99.
Oh, okay.
They are difficult. It's difficult not to do that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this week's general chit chat, really. And
Good dad.
I think it's going to be a chit chat next week. Steve, I'm just going to let you into a little secret now, mate. I am booked in for my tattoo next Thursday.
Right.
So it's a couple of hours of top up starting from 3 o'clock. So I may be joining you from the car on the way home next Thursday for the first part.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry, guys. He's just not reliable these days.
Yeah, so it's finishing off me detailing on both arms, and then
There's nothing left to detail. He's just
What do you
taking you
mean?
for a mug. He's like, yeah, we could do another 3 hours on this one. But my arm's
No,
black.
well,
But I'm not
I'm
putting up
getting all
black
the
in black.
I'm pointing at my arm like you can see it. I'm getting all the black and the whites and everything put back through everything to make them all pop again, and then I'm done. That'll be until I start on my back and get that one done.
Yes, but me and Chris need to get a nice picture together for you to have that on the back, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
get a nice picture.
Who has the fewest tats here? I think Steve has less.
Yeah, I definitely have the
than
fewest
me.
compared to his arms. He's got
Yeah.
big arms, so there's quite a bit of space there to put a lot of stuff on.
Oh, Neil, that's a low blow.
Yeah, exactly, Neil. Exactly.
I've put 3 videos out this week on movie chats.
And about 12 on there. Yeah, I imagine.
No, I haven't put 12 on there. I've only put 1 that took
Just
me a
check,
week.
Neil, for me, if there's a live next Thursday from that fucking channel, will you?
So next week, I'll be hopefully getting some footage of the new tattoo parlor because Malky's moved from Ellesmere Port to Neston. So
Is that further away?
it's only about 10 minutes up the road.
Oh, that's
10
all right
minutes
then.
up the road. It's not that far, to be fair. It's a nice studio. I was there when I got that one done.
Yeah.
That one done. I hate the way my camera reverses everything because I want this arm. So which way do I go now? So yeah, I was up there anyway. So I'm going to get me tattoos updated and put that back through. So I might be joining you from the car for the first 10 minutes.
Whatever. You said from 3 o'clock for a couple of hours. Didn't you not say a couple of hours? That's 5.
You know me, mate. I can sit there all day. The hum of the gun's just dead relaxing. I don't feel it. I just love it. He says to me, "Should we take a break? Yeah, just carry on. Let's go. It's fine. Let's keep
live from the chair.
Live from the chair. You know, I sat there. I sat there the other day, and I got in at like 9:15, and I'd watched the full season of Ink Master on the telly.
Really?
While he was tattooing.
I like Ringmaster and all. They just did about 1,200 different spin-offs.
Yeah. So I watched like a full season of Ink Master while he was tattooing me. But yeah, they're gonna look good when they're done. It's gonna look good when it's done. However, it is highlighting the one on my back is looking a bit old and shabby, so I might have to get him to do something with that. But I was thinking, do you know the Battle of Endor at the end of Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Something like that, because it's going to have to be a big black piece. So I'm thinking something like that. Or the Reliance in the Enterprise or something like that.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
It'll be different.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. And yeah, please subscribe. We're sort of static around about the 520, 521 mark. So yeah,
we will be, Luke, mate. We're live. I don't know about Steve though. Like we say, he might be getting another tattoo done.
We are live every Thursday, Luke.
Regardless, life in the first lane on the back.
Regardless if I'm getting tattooed or not, I am here next week for little Steve, unless something else has happened. And then
yeah, unless I can't make it.
because we're just waiting for a date for the funeral, aren't we? And the chances are that's going to be next week at some point.
Well, yeah, I was hoping it wasn't going to be this weekend, to be honest.
So yeah, if that might clash, which yeah. Other than that, I am here because I love our channel. I don't go on other people's channels advertising another person's streams by wearing their cap. You know, do I? You knob shop.
Why would you when you've got enough channels to keep everybody going?
Look, we are sponsored by Life in the First Lane.
Yeah.
That's
And then your eBay shop when that was running. What else was
eBay
there?
shop that's been revitalized because I've got stuff to sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, if you're not gonna get people watching and people buying off you, you know, it's worked for Nick Hills. He sold to subscribers for years, so why not me?
Oh, bless you. Right, come on then, let's wrap it up. Thank you very much,
See you
everybody.
in a bit, guys.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Where the hell's the end here now? Well, you've moved it all around.
I don't know.